All right, Rick, it's time to talk about DraftKings.com, the longest-running sponsor here on Wooooo Nation. And if you're listening and you haven't gone to DraftKings, what's wrong with you? Isn't that right, Rick?
Exactly. DraftKings, if you don't know about DraftKings from us, turn on a TV for 1 minute. They're all over the place.
And
they are the organization that rolls. DraftKings.com. Woo-woo!
And they're America's favorite one-week fantasy football site for a reason. You see, with one-week fantasy, there's no season-long commitments. Imagine if you were stuck with Jamal Charles just after he tears his ACL. He's out for the rest of the season. Well, if you're on DraftKings.com, it's no big deal. It's no problem. It's a brand-new season every single week. You're not going to be stuck with the same players. And get this, DraftKings is crowning a new millionaire every single week this season. Now you can finally turn your love of football into the payday of a lifetime. It's this simple. You just pick your players, pile up the points, and pick up your cash. That's it. You've never experienced football like this before. This isn't fantasy as usual. This is DraftKings.com. Welcome to the big time. Now, what do you need to do? You need to hurry right now to DraftKings.com and use promo code
FLAIR, Flair.
And play for free with your first deposit in this Sunday's $1 million fantasy football contest. The first place takes home $100,000. Just enter Flair for free entry now, only at DraftKings.com.
DraftKings.com, the place to play. Woo!
A man who wears the 10 pounds of gold, the nature boy, Ric Flair.
You know, I always like to take this opportunity to talk about myself. Woo! Woo!
The 16-time heavyweight champion has arrived.
I've got the style and profile like never before.
The greatest talker in the history of the business is behind the mic once again.
You're talking to the Rolex wearing, diamond ring wearing, kiss stealing, wheeling dealing, limousine like, jet flying, son of a gun. Woo!
This is Wooooo Nation with Ric Flair.
I'm the man. Ric Flair.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is the Nature Boy Ric Flair, 16 times your World Heavyweight Champion and the host of Wooooo Nation, along with my multi-millionaire best friend, the legendary Conrad Thompson, the king of Alabama. Woo! Hello, Conrad, and with us today, a young man that I have known since 1980, maybe 81, and one of the legends in our business, and obviously from one of the most legendary families of all time, Mr. Kevin Von Erich. Kevin, how are you? And Kevin's living the big life out there in Honolulu, man. How about that, Kevin?
Well, how are you doing, Rick? Good to hear from you, man. And Conrad, you too, man. It's just been great. I'm on Kauai. It's a smaller kind of low traffic island out here. It's not touristy or commercial at all, but not like what Hawaii would like a lot of people think. You know, not the beach, we're up in the mountains. You know, with fun.
Yeah.
Here.
How did you pick Hawaii? When I heard that, I found that strange. Maybe just got tired of Dallas and all the stuff that goes on.
Yeah, well, I used to go to Japan so many times. I'd just have to wait. You know, I'd stop in Honolulu and, you know, spend the night, you know, just kind of sometimes. And I got tired of it. You know, I went 6 times a year for, 6 or 7 years. It was just so much. And I started coming out here. And I found real peace and solitude, you know, out here. And where I've got the ocean and the jungle, and it's like just where I need to be in tropics. And I brought my kids out here, and I brought my whole family. You know, my mother is sick and she's old, and so she stays upstairs, and we're fortunate to have her with us, you know, and be able to keep her. And then the kids.
Your mother's there with you now?
She sure is. Yeah, she's with hospice.
Oh, I didn't know that. That's phenomenal.
Yeah, well, she's upstairs in our bedroom, and it's just great to have her with us.
Yeah, I knew your mom very well. That's fantastic. I didn't know she was there. That's great. How many kids do you have now, Kevin?
We have, I have 4. I've got 2 daughters and 2 sons, and we all live on the 27 acres here. It's kind of, we've got a big valley in between us, and it's, we kind of like, just like a Hawaiian family maybe 1,000 years ago. I mean, it's just the family, and it's beautiful, man. It's just, we came out here, you know, it's a kind of a long story, but we built a nice place out here, and at first, but it was a little too much house. What had happened is our contractor and builder both kind of brought out extra material for the next job, and we called it a little bit of a con job they were doing, and we found it, and wound up, they had to give us a bigger house than it ever was meant to be. We wound up trading the place straight up for this 27 acres out here, and all the family together, and it's just great. I tell you, we love each other, and each one puts the other one first, and it's just a heck of a way. It's beautiful out here. It's just, we're not so happy. Really, never been so happy.
Well, congratulations to you. A lot of people wish they had that going on in their life. I'm happy you do, because God only knows you went through a lot of hard times, and God, you know, I think of the hard times, but I tell Conrad and my friends, and like Michael Hayes and I see each other all the time, and we remember the good times with the Von Erichs. Oh my God, what a territory your dad had going out there. Jesus, so much fun, man. I couldn't wait. Southwest Airlines every day, girls and what at different times. Conrad flies Southwest now. I said they were wearing go-go boots and mini shorts back in our day.
Yeah, we were on that all the time.
Yeah, I couldn't wait to get to Dallas for a week. God.
Yeah.
Oh.
It was lucky making that last flight out of you. That 11 o'clock flight they'd have out. That was so good to be able to work and sleep in your own bed down in there. That was San Antonio. It was. That was great.
You talking about Dallas, you mean?
Yeah, San Antonio, Dallas. Just that. I remember, even if you worked the main event, you still had a chance to make that last flight. And it was great to do that.
I know, it's great. Well, you guys pull rank on me all the time. The Freebirds would say that the boys want to get out early. We're getting out of here. You'd leave me the rest of your brother for an hour, and you'd be gone.
I got that real serious, but nobody pulled rank on you. Not around here either.
No. I'm saying we'd like be in San Antonio on a Sunday, and it'd be you and whatever combination of brotherhood it was against the Freebirds, and you guys would say, "Well, we're getting out of here." I'll see you back in Dallas, because that was always, San Antonio was always either a Sunday afternoon or a Sunday night show.
You're so right, Rick. I know exactly what you mean. Yeah. You know what, Rick? It was like, I wanted, let's face it, wrestling and having a family, they're just not conducive to each other. They're just like oil and water. They don't mix. But I'm telling you, when you do take your family, stay with your family as much as possible, it's really a good investment, because one day you're going to get, wish it hadn't been that way. Man, the road is hard on marriage, hard on life.
Yeah, no, I know. Listen, you probably haven't kept up with me, but I've been married 4 times now, so probably. And that's not counting the times I got married. That's not counting the times I got married on Monday in Fort Worth and divorced in Corpus Christi on Friday, on the way to another territory.
Yeah, I know, but you're one of a kind, no doubt about that.
Yeah, that's what the judge said. He's one of a kind. Oh, man.
I was lucky. I was lucky to work with every one of the champs and the Tom. You, Harley, both the Funks, both the Briscoes. These are excellent athletes. These guys are specialists. So good. Everybody had something. Rick had a strategy. Rick would make that right. He would make you wrestle his pace, Conrad. And it was like, when you get good enough, you realize what each other are doing. I mean, we look at each other's heart. You wouldn't believe how involved wrestling really is. But I mean, we are into how tired is he? Does he think I'm going to do this? I mean, it's all counter thinking, and it's a lot more deep than people may think. But Rick would drive that match what would be his style, his pace, and it was usually at the 40 to 50-minute mark is when Rick started coming out of his shell, and that's how that battle for the only time. But I was thinking, I don't hate him a bit, because Rick is in another town every night wrestling an hour nightly. I mean, this guy's the most working man in our business. I tell you, he is.
Well, thank you. But I can tell you something right now. Working with you guys, I tell this, I said it last week on the podcast, going to Texas and working against the Von Erichs, the way that they were positioned with the public, I mean, you guys were over. It wasn't even like working. Didn't have to do anything. Just get in the ring and bump around and have a good time. I mean, I never thought of, I mean, when I went to Dallas for a week, I just couldn't wait to get there. It was like working the Florida territory. You've been there for a week. Going to Kansas City for a week was like going to Moscow. I mean, I love going out there.
I'm glad you say that, Rick, because I think so too. It was the lowest pressure territory I ever worked on. It was like that, no backbiting, you know, and scheming and all that stuff. Nobody shooting each other.
Oh, yeah.
I don't think I would have ever really gotten a chance anyway in my day of a period either. We would have not ever gotten a chance to wrestle had Dad not been the promoter, you know, and at the same thing with my sons. If I was a promoter, the Von Erich thing would start again. Right now, I guarantee you. But it's just a different day, you know. It's like, I just wish there was a class that my sons could perform, you know, what my dad taught me. You know what? You know, the science, the thing is, you know, how it is, what should I do for this? But, you know, I mean, it's a craft, and then pass on those things, you know.
Oh, yeah. Well, you know, when I broke in, I heard about the Dallas territory. This is prior to you guys being born, or not being born, but you were little kids. You know, I broke in with Wooooo, right? So Wooooo said, man, you should have been in Dallas with Lothario and Fritz Von Erich and all those guys. That was my introduction to you guys before I ever met you, right? And then I went out there and finally met your dad, and he used me a couple times prior to me winning the title. And I mean, everybody in the card was somebody. It was great.
Yeah. Gosh, you know, I watched the tape on the other day on YouTube with Dad, Gene Kaniski, and they just beat the hell out of each other. I thought, so somebody called me.
Oh, I know.
And they loved each other. You know, Kerry, my brother Kerry is named Kerry Gene. But Gene is for Gene Kaniski. They were that close, you know. And
yeah, guys.
You know how Dad always called Kerry Tully? You know, he liked Joe Blanchard. He liked the name Joe Blanchard, K. Tully. He liked Tully.
No, I know. Joe Blanchard and your dad were good friends, correct?
Oh, yeah, they're great friends. I remember fishing with them when I was a little kid.
All right, Rick, now it's time to talk about how we need to style and profile. And whenever you're styling and profiling these days, you can't do it without what, Rick? What do you need?
You can't style and profile for 1 minute without Mack Weldon.
You got to go to MackWeldon.com. If you want to be styling and profiling like the Nature Boy, it's the only place to get your gear. And we're even going to make sure you get a good deal. You're going to get 20% off using what promo code, Rick?
FLAIR. I'm wearing my Mack Weldon right now, Conrad. It's awesome.
Here's what's cool about everything Mack Weldon. All their products are naturally antimicrobial. That means they eliminate odor. So you're going to look good, you're going to smell good, you're going to dance all night, and you're going to be comfortable. If you don't like your very first pair, you can keep it and they'll still refund you. You don't get a better guarantee than that. It really is no questions asked. Now, what type of gear will you find at MackWeldon.com? Pretty much everything. Underwear, socks, shirts. You're going to look good and perform well. This stuff's good whether you're going to work out, going to work, going on dates, just everyday life. And let me tell you some specifics that you need to know that matter for guys like us. The legs of the underwear are designed to stay put, meaning you never have to shove your hand down your pants and adjust the legs of your underwear. That's not a good look. The socks, well, they're one size fit all, and most socks say that. They actually mean it. They've even got a cushioned footbed, and they guarantee to never slide down your legs. And finally, the undershirts, well, they're made just a little bit longer, so they stay tucked in and hidden. They're going to keep you cool all summer. And Rick, you've been rocking Mack Weldon for a while. What do you like best about Mack Weldon?
that I can dance all night and dance a little longer.
And you can,
and
too.
And then I'm styling and profiling. I'm looking as only I can look.
Well, you can look
Mac
like
Weldon.
Ric Flair today. You just got to go to MacWeldon.com and use what promo code, Rick?
FLAIR.
Woo!
Woo, Mac Weldon.
We'll be right back with the limousine riding, jet flying, kiss stealing, wheeling dealing, son of a gun, nature boy Ric Flair. Woo! On Wooooo Nation.
All right, Rick, I'd be lying if I didn't just tell the truth right now and tell everybody that I'm looking forward to talking to you about blue seating. Are you familiar with this stuff, Rick?
I am. I understand that it will help your liver. Everybody's been telling me for years I need to have been on it long ago. So here we are. It's promoting our podcast, and it's, if I need it, Conrad, you're way overdue.
Yeah, I'm thinking of buying stock after hanging out with you for a little while. We're talking about blue seating, and if you're tired of that awful, toxic, rundown feeling the morning after a night out naching with a friend, blue seating is the answer for you. It's called life. You enjoy drinks from time to time. Maybe you don't always eat the way you should. Maybe you take some medication. All that stuff can take a toll on your liver and your health over time. Just the daily stresses of life could really start to add up. You need something to go ahead and support healthy liver maintenance, performance, and protection from the past, the present, and the future. And you need blue seating in your life, especially if you have a friend like Ric Flair. I'm just saying. This is going to help restore the body with key electrolytes and vitamin C for a healthy immune support and free radical protection. It's going to help rejuvenate and restore healthy liver function from all your sins of the past, maybe even last night at the Marriott with the Nate. It even comes in a convenient quick melt mint tablet with a mint flavor. Don't act like you're above this. Come on, let's get in here. Let's take care of ourselves. Let's recover from last night. Let's enjoy a smarter way to enjoy life responsibly with blue seating. It's been scientifically designed for your body and your liver. And right now, we get a special offer just for listening to Wooooo Nation. You get 10% off. You just go to blueseating.com. Let me spell that for you. It's BLUCETIN.com. That's BLUCETIN.com. And this is a limited time offer, so stop what you're doing right now. If you're going to style and profile tonight, you're going to nache, you need to go right now to blueseating.com and use what promo code, Rick?
FLAIR.
And maybe tomorrow your check liver light won't be on, thanks to blue seating.
Woo!
The greatest talker in the history of the business is behind the mic once again. This is Wooooo Nation with Ric Flair.
Keep up like with Kathy and what's Kathy's daughter's name that just got married? She was in the business for a while.
Lacey. Yeah.
Well, you know what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah, no, we don't have a relationship. I do with Lacey. Bless her little heart. She's sweet and good, and she's a mommy up there in California and doing her best out there, but it was a rough start. I'm sure. And Kathy and I never got along. I mean, it was just terrible, the way that worked out and all, but, they were divorced. I'm sure.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. It was very sad. I just know because Lacey is very nice, and I had a chance to work with her a little bit. We went on this Australian thing with Hulk, and she was so entertaining. She was my valet for 4 days. It was tremendous.
Really?
And she's beautiful.
Who would have seen that coming?
Beg pardon?
Who would have seen that coming?
I know. I was there when she was born. Jesus, I mean, it's so amazing. I was there when she was born. Oh, wow.
What a business we have.
Mr. Von Erich, a few minutes ago you were talking about wrestling Rick, and a lot of fans have been tweeting me today. Why do you think the decision was made not to make you the champion, the NWA champion, at the second Parade of Champions show?
Well, it's the wrestling is a whole lot. It's not like you think. It's like, I have to say, I wanted to be a family man to tell the truth, and Harry, Dave wanted to be that camp. I know how hard Rick works, and Well, that's good, but I saw this business for making money. That's all I wanted out of it, to make money. That's just, it was a job for me, and like, that's pretty much all I can say. Being the champion is a heck of a feather in the cap. But, it's traveling every night. It's matches with guys that have got that night circled on their calendar. They've been looking at it for months. And with your face turned up all over their house, I mean, you've got an obsession. I mean, it's a big shot. And Redcoats to do that every night. And so he's got to play defense. He's got to, and he's got to drag it out of his face. He's got to, and if they put that belt so many times, if he worked his butt off to do it, I'll tell you, and I commend him on it. But you've got to be a strong, someone's going to do that. Each one of the camps, I commend them all, but maybe I wanted it. I did want it, but I just didn't want my best into what I did. I did. I'm not saying him out, beat the fair and square. I'm not saying he didn't. I'm just doing it. I think he may have wanted it more than I did, Long Beach, because I did want to be a family man too, and I wanted to make that slave, So I did, and then I would say I probably could do that. Yeah, I'm just thinking out loud. I'm on the radio. I couldn't do that.
Yeah.
Well, you can certainly do it here. A lot of fans, know now that Kerry lost his foot, but continued to perform. Can you tell us a little bit about how that happened, how the family handled that, and if it changed Kerry as a performer afterwards? And that's a question for both Rick and you, Mr. Von Erich.
Yeah, I'd say it definitely was a huge turning point in Kerry's life, because Kerry was, you think about this, Kerry would work out like 3 and 4 hours a day. I think I've never worked out longer than 45 minutes in my life. Kerry would spend hours and hours in that gym, on the bed, on the steam room, and that's just, Kerry's there all the time. That's his strength. That was one of Kerry's best strengths, his time for time, that strength he had. But then, so anybody that would pay that kind of price, when he lost his foot, the money was talking, man, Kerry was so trained. I'm proud of him. I thought that, anybody that thought the fortitude to put on that damn wooden foot and keep it and wrestle competitively, it was like, I wonder a picture of strength to me, but Kerry didn't see it that way. Kerry was talking about, and it's terrible the way we look at ourselves sometimes when so untrue. But that's kind of the thinking Kerry had on it. Let's do that.
Well, Kevin, I might interrupt you. A lot of people don't realize, I've said this before. Obviously you had a great physique as well. But I've said before, I think there was a time in the business when Kerry Von Erich had the best physique in our business, period. And it wasn't a day, and you can vouch for this, it wasn't a day in his life that he couldn't bench press 500 pounds. With or without space.
Yeah, you're right, Rick. I saw Kerry and Tony Atlas were benching one night in Tokyo. I never saw Kerry go so heavy, but then we was competing. He would even go more. I think he did 520 twice, or 2 or 3 times. I know he wrecked it twice. Oh shit! That barbell was ringing like a bell. On somebody benches up.
No. Kerry was just strong as could be, and anybody, I think when you're at that level with your physique, your body's your temple. And when he lost it in a motorcycle accident, correct?
Yeah. Yeah, he was behind the police car. This guy's an Argyle cop at the town where we live. And he was an old friend of Kerry's, and they would they went to school together. And so Kerry was going to pass him on the right. They'd been together that day, and then the guy went to work, and Kerry was on his motorcycle, was going to pass him on the right. Well, the guy went to turn and didn't see Kerry. Or no, the guy stopped and didn't see Kerry. And Kerry went to hit his brakes, and it wasn't enough, so he tried to jump. And he's going like 50 miles an hour. He was going to zoom past him, And so he tried to jump with that on over that police car, Rick, and his foot. He was going to clear it, Rick. He got high enough to clear it, except for his foot. It went between that lights and the car. Board off. Board the end of it off.
Yeah.
Yellow highway paint and bone there. That was the only scratch on him, Rick. He was able to go ahead and roll with it and not get hurt, except for that dang foot. He was.
Wow.
So,
well, I going back to what Conrad said, I worked for them obviously before and after, and you know, if you didn't know that him, you really couldn't tell the difference in terms of his work, but it affected him mentally a lot. I mean, I'm the first to say that. I think that really, you know, presented a problem for him, and of course, when I worked with him with the foot injury in the WWF, but one night we were in London, and we were the main event in London, and on an overseas tour, and I mean, he was over like, you know, very few guys in our business have the opportunity to be, and he could still rock and roll. You know, I couldn't really tell the difference, but I knew, and as well as I knew Terry, I never talked to him about it. Isn't that funny? I never said, how's that working for you? But you would never know by the way he performed in the ring that he was an amputee. Does that make sense to you guys? Yeah. He didn't limp or drag it around, and the size of his leg, right down to the boot, it never changed. I mean, this kid had a genetic gift, man. Holy cow.
Yeah. He really had his eggs all in that one basket, and man, it was just, he poured his heart into it. You know, anything you want to do, let's face it, Rick knows this, anybody else, Conrad, anybody successful, anything you want to do, you want to be successful, be the best. You got to be the very best at whatever you do, or you got to do something different or better than everyone else, and that was Kerry's gift. He built it. That body was so powerful, this, and that destroyed him. It was that foot. It was like, what a turnaround it was. Huge turnaround. The question, his marriage fell apart, his life fell apart. It was just...
Yeah, I mean, Conrad, I don't know if you know this or not, but Terry went to the University of Houston, and he was a world-class distance thrower in college.
Wow.
There was a guy named Mac Wilkins that was throwing at like 230 feet at the time, and I think Terry was throwing at like 210 or 215. You remember that, Kevin?
Yeah, 19 years old, too, and Mike with his buddies.
Yeah.
They were good. That's, you know, he worked his butt off on that, too. But you know what? He didn't even start till his junior year in high school.
Wow.
I know. It's crazy.
Yeah. What an athlete. And you know what? People don't know this. As Kerry was, not only did he throw the discus, Kerry was also a high jumper. And,
oh, I didn't know that. No.
6'4", he could get that big old 220-pound frame up there. That's a lot of jumping. I was a high jumper too, but I didn't weigh that. I got up to 6'6", so I weighed 210. Really weighed 225. I was getting 6'4". I think that's a better piece to go to.
Oh my God, I did not know that. No. Did you play? Kevin, you played football at North Texas State, right?
Yeah, I did.
Same place as Steve Austin.
Yeah, it was. He was, you know, I'll tell you, I had knee surgery, and that really kind of nipped me at the bud. It was too bad, you know. I mean, I think my best game was a game we called it a toilet bowl game. It was where we played against OU's freshman season. I think that was probably my best game, but I had knee surgery after knee surgery, and it was a mess. So I was determined to play football. I just thought that was kind of like lifting weights to carry. My thing was to play football, and I didn't even consider wrestling until I got hurt, really. And then I poured my heart on it, but until then, I didn't consider wrestling. I thought I was going to play football.
Well, let me assure you, as a colleague and a friend, losing or having knee surgery did not affect how stiff your kicks were.
Yeah, one of the kids, I'll tell you what, though, I never had a match and I didn't have sore knees. I'll tell you that. In fact, I started off.
Man, when them, Conrad, when I saw those bare feet come running at me across the ring, I knew I was going to get it.
So let's talk about that, Mr. Von Erich. How did you come up with the idea to wrestle barefoot? How did that whole thing come about? Back in the day, seemingly, everybody was wrestling in boots unless you had like an Islander gimmick or something like that. And then here you come with no shoes, and it becomes your calling card. How did that all come about?
Well, I'm always barefoot anyway, and I like, I just felt handcuffed. But another more practical reason is that I had these knees. My knees had both been operated on, and they were both sore all the time. And with those boots, as long as we wrestle with socks on too, our boots soak up a lot of sweat, and they get heavy. And when I took them off, I could feel the difference, and I never wanted to put them back on. And I didn't forget them or anything like that. I took them off on purpose because I felt handcuffed, and I just thought, this is great. I'm never going to. Curie wanted to do it too. In fact, Curie did do it with me at first, but he went to the boots for some reason, I don't know, but he loved to be barefoot.
Yeah, well, it worked with it. It was tremendous. People, I mean, each one of the boys had their own identity. It was really cool.
Well, gosh, I need them to put the ropes. I can push from the ropes and lift from them. I can even pull front. I can even pull the hair with my dang feet before. I feel hands. But I mean, when you're down and dirty, say in Japan or something, you do anything, I want to be barefoot so I can kick ass if I have to, I mean, you never know, and so being barefoot was sure felt natural too. But with all that weight off of my feet, I just felt like I cried, and it was made wrestling fun. Shut up, Dick.
Hey, Conrad, I assure you that both Kevin and Kerry, flat-footed, could drop kick me on the top of my head just standing there. They have phenomenal spring in their legs. I mean, out of nowhere, boom. A lot of guys try that, but to stand flat-footed and drop kick a guy 6 foot or 6'1" right in the top of the head is hard to do. You got to have tremendous spring in your legs, which they both did.
Right.
Unreal.
As a gift, we just thankful God made us that way. We just did our best, and can't really brag about something that was a gift, but it's sure good. I think they let us compliment. We appreciate it. My boys got to see that son. I have one, Marshall. He's 6'3", 265, and Rick, he can fly. He jumps higher than I do. His drop kick, he can do an inverted Dana from the ground onto the end of the floor. You can do it like a backflip from there and slide, and somebody else to do it. And Ross can do that flip over the ropes just like I did. And so nimble. Both those boys are so nimble. And they've got that crazy power thing, Ross in his chest.
Yeah.
His little body. It's like, when they call on it, it's there. That strength that it takes for that last kick out. Or that.
Yeah.
When you pour your guts into a match, the next morning you're sore. You're hurting, but it's a good hurt because, you did your all. And that's a great feeling, man. That's really, that's what athletes and athletics for. That feeling.
All right, Rick, it's time to talk about LD products. And this is something I'm excited to talk to you about because I know this is something you struggle with all the time. Do you find that you're spending more than you need on ink and toner, Rick?
Conrad, I find that I'm spending too much on a lot of things.
Well, how about this? It's time to start saving money. You don't go to car dealerships to buy gas, so why would you go back to the printer manufacturer to buy ink and toner? You don't have to. Now you're going to the experts. You're going to ldproducts.com. They offer a quality alternative at a fraction of the cost, and you're going to save up to 70% off of expensive name brands. See, they've been in business for 16 years, and they ship more than 6 million cartridges a year. They must be doing something right. Best of all, they've got...
Exactly. That is what's called big business.
Not only is it big business, Rick, it's good American business. They have U.S.-based customer service, so when you call in, you're not going to be rerouted to India. You're going right here to the States, 7 days a week, all in their
Or China.
Yeah, no China, man. We're talking America. Come on, get you some of that at ldproducts.com, and we want to make sure you're getting a good deal on all your ink and toner needs. So when you go to LD Products, you get to use a special promo code. What is it, Rick?
Flair.
And you support the show, so you get 10% off your ink and toner, you support the show, and it all happens at ldproducts.com, and this offer is valid through the end of the year. We're talking December 31st, 2015. It excludes OEM, and there's free shipping to the continental United States. All right now at ldproducts.com. Get your 10% off of your next ink and toner order using what promo code, Rick?
Flair, American made. Woo!
ldproducts.com.
LD.com.
All the ladies love Slick Rick. You know they love Wooooo Nation. Don't go anywhere. I'll be right back.
All right, Rick, let's catch up all the listeners right now on all the good stuff happening at SeatGeek. It's the SeatGeek app, and you can download it on your phone. It's so easy, even Ric Flair can do it. And how about this? Everybody wants tickets to that Alabama-Texas A&M game this weekend. Isn't that right, Rick?
Exactly.
You've got LSU, Florida.
I'll be in Mexico, but I wish I could be there.
See, Alabama, they all thought was dead. Now they're back, man. They're back in there, and they're going to be going against Texas A&M. LSU's taking on Florida, and Florida's got a new QB. Can anybody stop Fournette? Don't you want to be in the stands and see this? Well, the SeatGeek app can hook you up, and we've got a cool deal for you. You just use promo code
Flair
in the SeatGeek app.
Flair.
And you'll get a $20 rebate off your very first SeatGeek purchase. It takes less than a minute. Download the app today. What you're going to find is they pull in all the different ticket options from hundreds of different sellers. You get virtually every option right there in this same app. And they've even got a really cool thing to let you know if you're getting a good deal or not. It's called Deal Score. It's going to rank those deals with 1 to 100, so you know at a glance where all the good deals are. And best of all, they make it easy. You can store your credit card, so if you want to get something at the last minute, it's just 2 taps and boom, you're going to the event. So what do you need to do? Right now, download the SeatGeek app. It's free. Why wouldn't you do that? And then enter the promo code FLAIR in the app, and then SeatGeek's going to send you $20 once you've made your very first purchase. And as if that's not enough, check this out. Every ticket purchased on SeatGeek is backed by a 100% guarantee. Rick, we love some SeatGeek. We love a guarantee. What do we think about SeatGeek, Rick?
We think SeatGeek is awesome, and like you said, and like I'm re-verifying, the game this weekend, Texas A&M, Alabama, SeatGeek needs to be involved.
Woo!
Woo! This is Wooooo Nation with Ric Flair.
Did your dad push you guys into sports, or just something that came natural?
Well, looking back on it, it was almost like he didn't want us to.
Yeah.
Then, because football is what I was going to do, Terry's went for the discus. Dave was definitely a basketball player. And we didn't have it in mind, but the wrestling was a summer job for me that just lasted like years. And Dave started before I did. Dave even quit football and basketball to do it. But and Dave started.
David, yeah, I knew that, yeah.
Yeah,
David loved the business, man. I mean, David loved the business.
He did. He was great at it and loved it, and was just so good at everything. And he was our Glen general, I guess you could say. They've called our shots for us pretty much.
Yeah, well, David, a lot of people speculate. It wasn't be speculation. David would have been a long-term NWA champion had the incident not taken place, because David was over in Florida. He was over with Eddie Graham. He was over in St. Louis with Sam Mushnick. And, of course, he was over in Texas. And the Funks loved him. David was, a big card. And plus, David had established himself very well in Tokyo for Baba as well. So, when the whole incident happened. But yeah, David was being groomed to be the NWA champion, for sure.
And Rick loving the business the way they did. I think about for Dave, it was always his attitude was, I gotta get better, I gotta get better. And it was like then, if you think about the mark he made on our business, and he only wrestled 6 years. Rick, he died in '84. He was 5 years. And he did. And he didn't get to see the way that people have responded, and the way since Dave's death. I wish you could have seen that. He'd be so proud. We're going to see each other again. We're completely not even having another match up in heaven. Yeah, we're all invited.
Yeah.
It's going to be.
Hey, so was he 25 when he died?
25, yeah.
25, yeah. That's what I thought. I had just been with him the week before in Florida. Your brother and I had a lot of fun. Yeah.
Yeah.
He liked hanging out with me.
How did he look? Did they look pale or anything? If you were with him a week before in Florida, did he kind of look, there was slight ball down him or anything like that? Did he look pale or anything?
No. Let me tell you a great David Von Erich Ric Flair story. So, your brother was actually he was very socially inclined, a lot like myself, right? So we did Tampa Tuesday night, and the next day we had the TV at like 10 o'clock in the morning, then off to Miami. So your brother and I had several cocktails, and he was telling me he was going to put me to bed. So without mentioning who was there with me, but it was obviously a couple people that. I don't think David was married. I was. It doesn't matter. I'm not married anymore. But we had friends. So I took him down to his room, right? And he and his friend passed out. So I got a key from the guy at the front desk, and I went in and took off all their clothes, right? And both of them. And your brother had a Corvette. And I took all their clothes and left them in my room at the hotel. And your brother woke up with no clothes, nothing. And I don't know what happened to his friend, but he drove down to the sportatorium in his Corvette naked.
Well, man, let this be a warning to all girls. Remember, if you hang around us, anything can happen.
Yeah, this was not drug induced. This was purely alcohol. But I'll never forget it because God forbid you miss TV for Eddie Graham. He drove his Corvette down to the sportatorium for TV naked. It was so damn funny. I was standing outside. He said, "You son of a bitch, give me my shit." I was laughing so hard. I had Dusty. I'm sorry.
I'll leave back now for him coming back from Florida, telling me about you getting some gum stuck in your hair and having to shave it off skin level. And he was laughing his butt off about that. It was all through Thanksgiving dinner, him talking about you having to get your hair shaved and how your hair is stuck up, how funny it was.
Yeah, I'm sure of it. I don't remember that incident, but I'm sure it took place. No, but I'll tell you what else, David could really work. He had it down, man. He loved it. I got to work with him in Florida and St. Louis. I never worked with him in Japan, but of course, in your territory a lot. So, yeah, I probably had, 40 or 50 matches with David over that couple year span. So it was a heck of a deal. So
how did I have as many, even more, Rick, seeing how my career was 4 or 5 times longer than Dave's really, 19 years out of 4. But, it's like I worked with everybody for so long. I mean, 19 years, and people think that I had a short career. I mean, for me, your style, I understand you being able to work as long as you did, but my style was more, burn too much gas, to do that, I believe. I think 19 years was about all I could put out.
Yeah. Hey, listen, hey Kevin. Let me ask you, do you ever keep up with David Manning?
Oh, yeah. I talked to him about a month or so ago. He's doing great. Rick, I remember you and him used to always go out.
Oh, my God. I love David Manning. You got to text me his number after we get off the air today, because I want to have him on the show. David Manning and Ric Flair. We had some major fun.
Yeah, sure. He is funny.
Oh, it was hilarious. I tell people David Manning could have $100,000 on one day, right? $100,000 with a job he was making 30 at, right? and the next day he would lose it in Vegas. I mean, you know all those stories. He was a gambling freak, man. But he won most of the time, but when he lost, he wouldn't pull up that, so it's all gone. My God. His wife, Rhonda, was tremendous. Oh, my God. Do you remember when he had the lion and tiger cubs in his backyard in that big house he got?
Oh, that tiger, yeah. I kept this tiger for about a week for him once when I took on a vacation. I had the little girl spinning over on a slumber party, and they had the best week of their life. They slept with that tiger. Loved it to death, almost.
Oh, my God. I mean, he tells me, I got a lion and tiger cub. I said, oh, shit. I go out to his house, and he's got a house that looks like the Ponderosa, once again on a $30,000 salary, and he's got a live tiger and a live lion cub, Conrad, in his backyard.
Yeah, I know. He was telling us all about how good his tiger was. His name's Sultan or something. This thing is big. It's about bigger than he is, and so he's wrestling with it, you know. And we had a bucket of fried chicken that the tiger didn't see, so we caught some meat up on Dave's back, and he said, "No," you know. That tiger started wanting that meat. And Dave spanked him, you know. Don't do that to him. Well, him and that tiger got in a fight. It was hard to break up. It was funny.
I know. You know, that damn tiger was so strong, Conrad, you wouldn't believe it. And I mean, I kept waiting for him to turn on us and eat it. You know what I mean?
Well, speaking of turns, let's talk about the Freebird, Kevin Von Erich, and the whole Von Erich family feud. The big turn in the cage kind of set the territory on fire. The Freebirds are being talked about a lot this year. Maybe, hopefully, this is their year in Dallas to go into the Hall of Fame. Kevin, share some of your favorite Freebird stories and what your experience with working with those guys was like.
Oh, man, their guys are just full of guts in here. Terry Gordy was a guy I'll never forget. One of the best men I've ever known. When I went out there to Atlanta to be there, you know, knight in shining armor, you know, then, you know, they got a picture with the dragon, you know, and the dragon just has to be big Terry Gordy. Big old, ugly, mean, huge Terry Gordy. Well, I'm the kid, you know, 18-year-old kid, 19 years old. When I found out Terry's younger than me, he turned out he would have been an excellent football player. And he said, the coach don't like me. He said, I don't like him neither. So that was football.
Yeah.
Something else. What an athlete he was. He could do anything. So nimble. Michael Hayes was he could just wow you to hate his guts, you know. And then Buddy Roberts was like a crash test dummy. You know, he could take anything and keep on kicking.
Yeah. Well, I tell people all the time that match you guys had with your dad that was on before me and Terry was insanity. It was you, your dad, was it Chris? No, Mike. You and your dad, Mike, against the Von Erichs, right?
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, and you and your dad, Mike, against the Freebirds in the stadium.
Let me say something to you while I got you in public. All these people listening, I hope there's a whole lot of people listening to this. But I want to tell you, Rick, I just got to tell you. Oh, hang on just a second. But sorry about that.
Oh, no, it all works out.
That's because you live on a mountain.
No, saying the greatest things about you. You missed them, buddy. You got to come out here.
I'm going to.
Rick, I want to tell you, I learned so much from you, buddy, and I'll always be grateful. I'll speak for all of my brothers when I say you were the epitome of the champion, Rick. You worked your butt off every time you got in the ring. Everything was right there, smart, level-headed, always a businessman. And you helped each one of us learn that in this business, to be a specialist, to find something to do better than everyone else. And we learned it from you, champ, and we do appreciate it. Thank you for you and all the champs helped us so much.
Oh.
Friends with this experience too. Rick, God bless you, man. And I wish you the best.
Oh. Well, thank you. And let me return the compliment. Working with you guys was a pleasure as well. I mean, it was, it was like I tell people that they had their own world, man. It might as well have been Von Erichville. But I mean, Dallas, Texas, with Keith Mitchell, David Manning, the Von Erichs, the Freebirds, Gino Hernandez. I mean, all the guys that were there. Terry, I mean, it was just a phenomenal place to work. And your dad was a great payoff guy. So,
Hernandez, you're right. That Hernandez was a heck of a talent, wasn't he? And, remember what a kid he was. So much talent.
Yeah, God, he was handsome as could be. I mean, you just wonder sometimes. You feel bad about the outcome, but it wasn't because he didn't have talent. I mean, he had that big penthouse over there in Las Colinas. He was living large.
He was just like you, Rick.
I know. Thank you, Kevin. That's for all my ex-wives.
Hey, so since we're talking about the old days, Mr. Von Erich, I'd like for you to talk a little bit about Gary Hart. I think a lot of younger fans don't really know enough about Mr. Hart or really appreciate the career that he had or the asset he was to the business. When you hear the greatest manager of all time conversation, it seems like his name never really comes up, but he was critical to your territory and your father's territory. Can you share any old Gary Hart stories with us today?
I sure can, Conrad. Thank you for bringing that up. Man, what a guy he was. A true hero. This guy's in a plane crash, saved 3 people. Buddy Colt was killed, but he's a real hero. Not only that, he was such a mind in our business, a great mind. He had a lot of enemies. A lot of people didn't like him because of what he said and what he felt. And he didn't like my dad. And he says it in his book. But he was a great mind in our business. He knew it inside and out. And he's another guy I'm grateful for, too. But what a guy he was. A real a friend, too. He became a real friend. Brilliant guy. Really a scientist in our business. He's the best.
Yeah, I don't think, his name doesn't get mentioned a lot, but when I was in Dallas, I wrestled Kabuki a lot, who was there with Gary. Before Gary came to Atlanta with Muda. So, Kabuki was the original. That was a great gimmick. I don't know whether you gave it to him or your dad did, or whether Barry Hudson with that green spray was way ahead of his time.
Yeah, Kabuki. Yeah, Mira. Yeah, he's got a restaurant over there in Tokyo. I just went and saw him a couple months ago. Over there, ate at his restaurant. Great place.
Oh, you're kidding? Oh, cool.
Yeah, Nowatongi. Yeah, he's doing good. And he's happy. He's a good guy. Great, really doing well.
Well, please pass my regards to him too, my God. I had a lot of good matches with him. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I will.
Mr. Von Erich, another guy who left us too early, Mr. Chris Adams, Gentleman Chris Adams, and you actually had a legendary feud with him, and he kind of popularized, maybe even invented the super kick before that became the Shawn Michaels deal. It was Chris Adams' deal. What are your memories of working with Chris and him as a performer?
Well, he was one of those crossover athletes. He and his brother were both judo guys in the Olympics, and they got second in the European. I believe his brother got silver in back-to-back Olympics. And they were judo guys that crossed over to wrestling. It's a pretty easy cross for a lot of guys. You can't, you're going to need a lot of learning, but the judo Chris had used a lot. It was really effective. And that kick, I think it's kind of, isn't there a judo kick or something? He was really accurate with that. In wrestling, we have a rule. You never turn your back on your opponent. But with Chris, it all changed. When somebody turns their back on you, it's not a stupid move anymore. It means watch that kick. Because Chris and Kabuki, and then Shawn Michaels later, will put that foot right in your face when you're not expecting it. So when a guy turns his back, it used to be attack, and now it means watch out. And that's what it became.
Yeah. I never worked with Chris, but I was obviously there. I'm telling you, Conrad, on a Friday night, because at that card, the building was sold out, but you had probably, 7 or 8 guys that are in the Hall of Fame or would be in any Hall of Fame every night on that card in the 80s. It was phenomenal. You know, Brody was in and out of there too, right, Kevin?
Oh yeah, Brody. Yeah, he sure was. Dallas was really. Brody's like a brother to us, Rick. You know, we really were close with him. He was.
Oh, I know. Yeah, I love working with Brody. A lot of people didn't, but he treated me like $1,000,000. I never had a problem with him, and I tell people all the time, as you know, Kevin. One thing about he was 300 pounds, but he was in shape, man. He could wrestle all night long. He was in phenomenal shape. So
yeah, and he would just hit the heavy bag, just bang on that heavy bag, picking up so strong. He was so powerful. You know, Dad was the best of the Racing Alliance for so many years. They'd have those conventions out there in Las Vegas, and I remember Brody would go out there with Dad, and Dad would take him. It was just, you know, what a guy he was. And to think that Dad is the one that set up the situation in San Juan for Brody to get his money from the Puerto Rican office. And he was supposed to get it in increments of $80,000. And darn it, he saw a sell out that night, and Roberto Clemente, he wanted his money. Lo and behold, there you go.
Oh, I didn't know your dad was involved in that deal for getting money?
Yeah, Ricky sure as heck was.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. Well, he died.
Yeah, geez. Yeah, I know the whole thing. I mean, two things happened. Number one, a very productive place for the guys to go make money shut down. And they've never recovered from that. But you know, that was a tough place to work. I'm not kidding you. It was. I mean, Carlos Colon was a great guy. Javich was a great guy. But that was a tough market to work. And I mean, in terms of your personal safety as well, you know.
Yeah, I worked on that hot rock many a time myself. I spent a few months out there before. It's hard work, all right. You remember those mountains you go over and they've got that little berry, they make that wine out of? What's that?
Oh yeah, of course.
Did you ever drink any of that wine that old man brings to the show out there?
Kevin, rest assured, I probably drank everything they had available in Puerto Rico. but Medallion Light for sure. I would like your brothers. I would try anything.
Everybody liked that wine. That was real strong, too. I don't know what it was, but it was something else. Everybody couldn't wait to get in that town.
Well, one of the things you talked about a minute ago, Rick, is you talked about how the building was sold out every night. And the building that's most synonymous with world class and the Von Erich family is the Sportatorium. It's a place that Steve Austin actually grew up watching wrestling. Mick Foley wrestled there. The Undertaker wrestled there. It's where Austin got his break. It really is a legendary building and was one of the more famous buildings in the history of wrestling. Tell us a little bit about, from both of you guys' perspective, what the Sportatorium meant for you or your career and wrestling as a whole.
Well, I got this thing, Twitter. I got a Twitter account, and so I found these pictures about Elvis Presley standing in the ring with the ropes taken down, but it's in the ring and doing his rock and roll show back in 1953, I think it was.
Oh my God.
It's just such a building.
Oh, I know.
He played that building. He loved it. And it was just made for entertainment. I can't believe they tore it down. They wound up cutting the pieces of the outside into triangles and selling it on eBay and made a killing.
Yeah. Well, also, aside from which it held about 3,200 people, right, Kevin?
No, 5,000. It would hold 5,000 if they really pushed together.
5,000. Okay, I wasn't sure.
That became a problem because he turned away too many people out there.
Yeah, but it had the office in it as well, so it was and obviously a very valuable piece of property. It's one of the reasons why Kevin's living in Hawaii on a ranch in the mountains. But what happened eventually? The Sportatorium became the caveat to get to Reunion Arena, which was jammed. My God, no sport. And that was my first really big time experience that people that would, I mean, they love wrestling and wrestling the kids. I call you guys the kids, the Von Erich kids, in reunion and trying to get back to that dressing room was a fight every Christmas night, man. Holy cow. Jeez, but it was very rewarding. Great fans.
Well, Mr. Von Erich, I appreciate you joining us today. You can actually follow Kevin on Twitter. He is at Kevin Von Erich on Twitter. Is there anything else you want us to promote for you today, Mr. Von Erich?
No, I'm sorry. My phone is cutting out, and I missed that. But let me give you all that David Manning's phone number, Rick, so you can be able to contact him. And I'll tell you guys, it's a pleasure to be on the show. Good luck with you guys.
No, what I said was, I want you to hear, I said the sportatorium actually became the caveat to get to Reunion Arena. And wrestling any Von Erich in Reunion Arena was the greatest feeling, a rewarding feeling that any wrestler could ever experience, because the fans were absolutely crazy about wrestling and crazy about you guys.
Thanks, Rick. Yeah, it's right. You know, that was a milestone in wrestling too. I mean, that was where scalpers would.
Oh my God! The only thing that was sad was it was always on Christmas night, and I always had to go back to the Hyatt by myself, and the bar was closed. And there was a snowstorm in Denver. Then the hotel was full because the planes were stuck.
Man.
That's another story time, right?
It was like the sportatorium. When the lights were off, it did feel like the sportatorium, but just a bigger one. But I know what you mean. It did.
Yeah.
The feeling was there.
We had a ball, man. And thank you so much for coming on the show, Kevin. My best to your family. Your mother's name is Dolores, correct?
It's Doris, right.
Yeah, please give her my best. She was always so nice.
Well, great. It was good talking to you guys, and hopefully you can see my sons wrestle soon. They've been wrestling 4 years, but mostly in Japan. But look for them soon, because the Von Erichs are not dead, folks. And
Hey, I'm sure you're going to be at WrestleMania in Dallas. The company would almost make that mandatory, I would think.
I haven't. I don't think I will be. I really doubt that I would. I haven't heard a word from him. I really doubt that I will. But I wish him luck. But I'd be real surprised if I was in the Reunion Arena.
If given the opportunity, would you induct Michael P.S. Hayes into the Hall of Fame?
Oh, I'd be glad to. Yeah, I'd love to. I think the guy deserves it like crazy.
Yeah. Well, thanks, Kevin. You're a gentleman, and I'm so happy you're happy, healthy, and successful. My best to your family.
My best to you. Hey, you guys, my pleasure. Call me anytime.
Thank you very much, sir.
Okay. Thanks, Kevin.
Okay, you guys. So long.
All right. Bye-bye. All right, Rick, another Wooooo Nation in the can there. Kevin Von Erich, not a guy that I necessarily grew up with, but if you really grow up and try to learn about wrestling, you can't tell the story without talking about the Von Erich family.
Well, I mean, you can't. I mean, as we've talked about many times with different guests, there was just so much going on there, and almost, I mean, in that time frame, a lot of the biggest players, from Wahoo McDaniels to Brody. And I just noticed him. I didn't know that his dad had broken the deal for the money. I knew his dad was on the board of directors for the NWA title, but I didn't know that he broke that thing for the money with Carlos and Victor in Puerto Rico. So I mean, a lot of power players came through there, but a lot of great wrestling stars.
And a lot of great wrestling stars here on Wooooo Nation. We've got another great one coming up next week, and we might even be on location. So we'll be trying something a little different next week. I'm looking forward to it, man.
Me too, buddy. Love you, buddy.
You too, man. Check us out next week. Where at, Rick?
Wooooo Nation.